بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد وعن أبي عبد الله خباب بن الأرت رضي الله عنه قال شكونا إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وهو متوسد بردة له في ظل الكعبة فقلنا ألا تستنصر لنا ألا تدع لنا فقال قد كان من قبلكم يؤخذ الرجل فيحفر له في الأرض فيجعل فيها ثم يؤتى بالمنشار فيوضع على رأسه فيجعل نصفين ويمشط بأمشاط الحديد ما دون لحمه وعظمه ما يصده ذلك عن دينه والله ليتمن الله هذا الأمر حتى يسير الراكب من صنعاء إلى حضرموت لا يخاف إلا الله والذئب على غنمه ولكنكم تستعجلون رواه البخاري. Khabbab bin Al-Aratt radiyallahu anhu reported, we complained to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam regarding the persecution inflicted upon us by the disbelievers while he was lying down or while he was reclining in the shade of the Kaaba, having made a pillow out of his cloak. We said to him, Why do you not supplicate for our prevalence, for our help, for our victory over our opponents? Why don't you ask Allah for help? Why don't you ask or make dua or supplicate to Allah? He sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, Among those people before you, a man would be seized and held in a pit dug for him in the ground, and he would be sawed in half. From his head, he would be sawed in half from his head. And another person, his flesh would be torn away from his bones with an iron comb. So another person, they would use an iron comb and they would go ahead and skin him alive, leaving just the meat and the bones and skinning his skin away from it. But in spite of all of this, he would not detract from his faith. By Allah, Allah will surely bring this matter to its consummation Allah will surely bring this matter to its fulfillment until a rider or a traveler will travel from Sana'a, which is in Yemen, to Hadramout, which is also in Yemen, fearing no one except Allah. Meaning from one place to another, he will travel and he will fear no one except Allah, and except the wolf for his sheep. But you are always in a hurry. So here you have Abu Abdullah Khabbab bin Al-Aratt. He was one of the most severely persecuted people. What they used to do to him, if we were to know, then you would understand where he's coming from. But the Prophet ﷺ, he's trying to give tarbiyah to this ummah. Who was Khabbab bin Al-Aratt? He was one of the early converts to Islam. He didn't really have a tribe, a backing. They used to punish him so bad that they used to lash him. Okay? And then what happens with the lash? The first time it leaves a red mark. The third time it slices your skin. After a few times it slices your skin. And then after that, blood and pus and all of this starts to ooze out. Then they used to drag him onto the burning coal that they put down on the ground. You know coal, what we use for the barbecue? They will put that down and they put him there. The burning coal will become extinguished because of his bodily fluids, his sweat and the pus that was coming out and the blood that was coming out. That was Khabbab bin Al-Aratt. When they migrated to Medina in the time of Umar radiallahu anhu, he lifted his shirt, he showed it to Umar. Umar was like, I have never seen a back like that. A Sahabi who used to, before Islam, be one of the people that would hit the early converts. And we know Umar and his strength. He would become tired from hitting so much. And yet he is the one who is saying, I have never seen a back like that. So now you understand who is Khabbab, yeah? He's asking the Prophet of Allah, oh Prophet of Allah, look at how much we are suffering. Why don't you ask Allah for help? And so the Prophet ﷺ, he's reclining like this against the Kaaba. He took off his upper garment, cloak, and he's using it as a pillow. So he got up and his face, you could see that there's signs of disappointment and anger. And he says, before you, there were people who were so much tried and tested in their religion that a person, he would be put inside a pit. And then they would take a saw, one person on this end, another person on it, and then they would saw him in half. Leave your religion. No. Saw him in half. Another person, they would tie him up and take a hot iron comb, and then they would peel off his skin. You know, the small little skin that protrudes from your pinky or from what happens when you put it out? Oh, it's so painful, right? Imagine your skin, all because you said there's no one worthy of worship except Allah. But they did not waver in their iman. Now let's think for about 30 seconds with yourselves, brothers and sisters. What test did we face? By Allah, what test did we face? What test did we face? In our religion, what did we face? Some of us have been here long enough to remember some of the things that happened in the past few decades. What test did we face? For your religion. And if we were to be tested, you know we hear about Dajjal all the time, right? Yeah. What do we say to ourselves when we hear about it? That he's going to come and he's going to do this and he will have Jannah and Jahannam and he will say, believe in me, I'll put you in Jannah, you disbelieve in me, I'll put you in Jahannam. Right? We read these ahadith, correct? Yes? And then what do we say to ourselves? Wallahi, if he says, I will not believe in him. Right? We say this. And he says, if you believe in me, I will bring rain and provisions and give you prosperity. And if you don't, I will kill your kids and then you. From starvation. And we say, no, I'm going to... Okay, I want you guys to think about maybe one fitna that came, one test that came in your life. How fast did we waver? Your employer maybe said, you know what? You can't pray salah. We have a very important meeting. You must attend. How fast did we give in? These are things we have to do muhasabah of ourselves. We really have to do this. That's why the Sahaba were Sahaba. And that's why we say, radiyallahu anhum wa radu an. Never should we dare to speak or think evil or ill of them. Never. Anyone who speaks ill of them, anyone who speaks bad of them, he has left the fold of Islam. As Allah, He says in the Quran, Surah Al-Fath, towards the end. And we have people who have the audacity to speak against them. These are the people who strove. I went to one country and they told me that country is like thousands of miles away. They said, over here there are the graves of 6 Sahaba. Somewhere here. I was like, subhanallah. 6 Sahaba there. What's their name? They said, we don't know their name. What does that mean? That means they didn't care what their names were. They went all over the world to spread the religion of Islam. How many Sahaba do we know? Just a few hundred. At best, it's recorded in the books a few hundred of seerah. You personally, you probably know a dozen or 2 or 100. But these Sahaba, they were known amongst the inhabitants of the heaven and not known amongst the inhabitants of the earth. But that's okay. And there are people who are known amongst the inhabitants of the earth, but they're unknown to the inhabitants of the heavens. And so you have this hope, anything you want to do. Because, I went to Chicago for a conference. Yes, Chicago, not Texas. Everyone is welcoming me back from Texas. Now, brothers, I went to Chicago. So, I went to Chicago, and the Mu'tamar, the conference was technology and its effect, technological use and its effect on various contemporary fiqhi issues. And so we were talking about Instagram, YouTube, these marriage apps, everything, okay? From the Muslim family unit, the husband and wife relationship, the use in banking, Islamic transaction, paying your zakat with the credit card online, to these many things. And it was one of the most beneficial things that, mashallah, the scholars and the organizers at AMJA, the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America, annually organize. May Allah bless them and protect and preserve our scholars. So they're always contextualizing the fiqh. All of this has been discussed in the past, except the challenge for these scholars, the experts, is to contextualize it in our time. This is a, how do you say fun? Yani, this is like a, not strategy. This is, No. It's, No, not implementation either. It's a technique that only certain people are endowed with. You have the fiqh right there. But how to contextualize it and apply it in its right time and place and event and occurrence is a special tactic and skill. Yeah, molded. So what was I discussing right before I brought up this AMJA conference? Yeah, the Sahaba. Nowadays, one of the things that we discussed was how the issue of using technology for the advancement of da'wah, both the pros and the cons. And the cons was what? All the haram and the fitna that's out there that we are exposed to, the effect that it has on our sincerity. So you have, for example, an imam who's probably, doing this while he's being recorded, or he's making tawaf, or, and then he's sending out a message, good intention, but what is the message that they're sending out? Or maybe it was a good intention, but what is the message that you're sending out? And so it reminded me of this saying of the scholars where they said there are people on the earth that are not known to its inhabitants, but they are known to the inhabitants of the heavens, meaning to Allah and the angels. They know. Why? Because He's always sending them good deeds. He's always making dua. They recognize the voice. You make dua, your dua goes up to the heavens. And the angels, they open the doors of the heavens for it. And they welcome that dua. But when you only make dua when you are in a time of despair and sadness and difficulty, your dua goes up. They say, who's this voice? We don't know this voice. We don't recognize this voice. So it sends back that dua. And that's why when you remember Allah in times of in times of ease, Allah will remember you in times of hardship. So these Sahaba were Sahaba for a reason. The scholars, they said that Allah, He looked at all the souls and He chose certain souls to be prophets. And then He looked at all the souls of the prophets and then He chose Muhammad to be the best amongst them, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And then He looked at all the other souls and He chose the Sahaba to be who they are. And then He looked at other souls and He chose them to be the Muslims. Allah hand-picked every one of us. Remember that. What did we do? You tell me. Are you more handsome? Are you more rich? Are you more smart? Are you more funny? Are you more skilled? Wallahi, there's people more handsome and more rich and more skilled and more this and more. But what was it? There was something that Allah saw in us and He gave us hidayah. Whether you were born into a Muslim family or you were guided later on in your life, there was something there. And then this, you can apply it for you coming to the masjid tonight, or you a regular attendee, or you a person of wearing hijab, or you who is staying away from haram. I see, for example, sometimes I do this contemplation. Why did Allah choose me? I'm not smart. There's people more smarter than me. I'm not, I don't come from a noble lineage. I don't come from this. What was it? And this is something we cannot figure out. It's just pure love and mercy from Allah. Thank Allah, brothers and sisters. Thank Allah 100 times, 1,000 times. You guys have the dhikr clicker? Huh? Do you guys have it? Okay, invest in that. Yeah? People say, no, do it with your fingers. Do it with the clicker. Do it with them, because that's also with the finger. Or if you have the tasbih, there's no problem with doing it, because it helps you to, make dhikr. When I see the tasbih, I'm like, okay, it helps me. Yeah? It helps me. Am I going to say that this is noble and this is, holy? No, I'm using it to count. To help me. Anything you can use to help you in remembering Allah, go ahead and use it as long as it's not haram. How many times? Wallahi, how many times did you say Alhamdulillah yesterday? How many times did I say Alhamdulillah yesterday? How many times? I know when the plane was descending, the sunnah is to say Alhamdulillah. Right? You say Alhamdulillah, 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 Alhamdulillah. And when it was ascending, I was saying Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. SubhanAllah, it's amazing what kind of brains Allah gave to these types of people, yani. But you say, Allah, He's greater than that. How many times did we say it? Today. Do you see, brothers? Wallahi, Allah has given us so much ni'mah. Health, wealth, family, kids. Imagine if Allah took them away. Right now. What you gonna do? You're going to go to an empty house. You're going to go to an empty house and you're just going to go to sleep, probably fix 3 days worth of old food, in your fridge. Thank Allah for that. What would you do if you don't have a purpose in life and you don't pray to Allah, waking up for Fajr? You don't wake up for Fajr, what's your purpose in life? You don't pray Salah, what's your purpose in life? Wallahi, I sometimes I talk to new Muslims and they're like, I was completely lost. I don't know what I was doing. Now in Islam, they found a purpose. Did they get trials? 100% from their parents. They didn't get lashed or whipped or anything, but they got other types. They were banished, they were kicked out, they were, shunned. Yeah, disowned, that's the word I was looking for. Disowned from the inheritance. Yeah, alhamdulillah, we don't need their Muslim, doesn't need the money of the non-Muslims. So I don't want to make this too long. Brothers and sisters, this hadith is telling us about patience, and I've just added to it, thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be patient in whatever you're going through. Know that Allah is with you, Allah loves you, Allah is looking down, He's feeling just jealous for you, He wants a certain degree of Jannah for you. Okay? And you're not going to get it through your regular salah, but you're going to get it through these trials and tribulations, but you must have patience. May Allah make us from amongst the patient ones. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow our tongue always to be thankful and praising Him and thanking Him and being fully gracious towards Him. May Allah forgive our parents, have mercy upon them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if they're alive, give them a long life with khair and barakah and afiyah and sihha, and in His obedience. May Allah unite us with our loved ones in this world upon His obedience, and in the day of judgment in Jannatul Firdaus with the prophets and the righteous and the Siddiqeen and the martyrs. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.